Ottoman Empire was one of the mightiest and longest-lasting dynasties in world history. This Islamic-run superpower ruled large areas of the Middle East, Eastern Europe, and North Africa for more than 600 years. It was founded at the end of the 13th century in northwestern Anatolia in the town of Sogod by the Turkoman tribal leader Osman I. In 1354, the Ottomans crossed into Europe, and with the conquest of the Balkans, the Ottoman Beylik was transformed into a transcontinental empire. And this empire also the one that conquered Constantinople under the command of Mehmed II, also known as Mehmed the Conqueror, was the seventh and among the greatest sultans of the Ottoman Empire. His conquests consolidated Ottoman rule in Anatolia and the Balkans, and he most famously triumphed in conquering the prized city of Constantinople, transforming it into the administrative center, trading center, cultural hub, education center, and capital of his growing empire. His victories would mark the end of the Byzantine Empire and usher a new era of Ottoman dominance in the Eastern Mediterranean. Born on the 30th of March 1432, Mehmed was the third son of Sultan Murad II and Hima Hatun. His paternal grandfather was Mehmed I and traced his ancestry back to Osman I, the founder of the Ottoman dynasty. Mehmed spent his early childhood in Edirne until he was moved to the Black Sea city of Amasya and replaced his brother Ahmet as the governor of the province in 1437. Despite being 5 years old, Mehmed's status as a child of the Sultan afforded him the opportunity to study under the best scholars of the region. He had many tutors throughout the years, teaching him theology, history, foreign languages, among many other topics. These personal tutors, reserved specifically for Ottoman royalty, were referred to as lalas and played an essential role in preparing Ottoman royals for the intricacies of administration. Mehmed readings of various Islamic writings would have a significant impact on his ambitions as a sultan. His desire to conquer Constantinople was inspired by the writings of Arab writers and further cultivated by a hadith or a saying attributed to the Prophet himself, who prophesied a Muslim army would conquer the city. Mehmed's father, Murad II's reign, was embroiled in conflict from its onset, both domestic and foreign. During the start of his reign, Murad fought in a war of succession against one of his brothers, who, with the support of the Byzantine Empire and other Balkan states, led a revolt in the European part of Ottoman territory. After crushing the uprising, he fought wars against Turkic states such as the Karamanlids to the east and the various European powers such as the Venetians, Hungarians, and Crusaders in the west. These prolonged conflicts took a toll on Murad, and he decided to retire in Bursa in 1444 and relinquished the throne to Mehmed, who was 12 years old at the time. The rivals of the Ottomans and various domestic factions saw the reign of the child Sultan Mehmed as an opportunity to further their interests. In 1444, Pope Eugene IV began mustering forces for a new crusade after absolving a previous peace treaty with Murad II. Meanwhile, the despots of Morea, rulers of a small Byzantine territory in southern Greece, began incursions into Ottoman Thessaly. These events led to a crisis within the inner circles of high-ranking Ottoman officials, convinced by the influential Grand Vizier, Ali Oshandarli, and a letter from Mehmed himself. Murad returned to the throne to deal with the threat. The Crusaders, led by the Polish king, Władysław III, and Murad forces clash at the Battle of Varna in 1444, which ended in a decisive victory for the Ottomans. In 1451, Murad II leaving the throne to Mehmed in his will. Shortly after this, Mehmed set his eyes on the biggest prize in the region, the city of Constantinople. Constantinople itself was a husk of its former glory, the population reduced by plagues, constant sieges, and the loss of the surrounding territory made the city more of a symbolic target rather than a strategic one. Many of Mehmed's predecessors attempted to conquer the city, but to no avail. A short occupation after the Fourth Crusade aside, it remained nearly impregnable over the centuries, mostly due to the Theodosian walls, a series of fortifications built by the Byzantine Emperor Theodosius II. Before the siege, Mehmed renewed his peace treaties with many European states and the Karamanids. Then, he began preparations to besiege the city in the winter of 1452 by building a navy in Gallipoli and then mustering forces in Thrace. In the spring of 1452, he strengthened his stranglehold on the Byzantine capital by constructing a new major fortress across the Golden Horn near Pera, which is known today as Rumeli Hisar. It complemented the fortress of Anadolu-Izari, which was built by Mehmed's predecessor, Sultan Bayezid I, across the Bosporus on the Asian side. In the same year, Mehmed gathered a group of elite engineers and inventors, including renowned Hungarian gunsmith Urban, and gave them the task of constructing the signature colossal cannons that would distinguish Mehmed's siege from those of his predecessors, and ultimately be one of the deciding factors in his eventual success in conquering the city. With the preparations nearing completion, Mehmed issued an ultimatum to the Byzantines to surrender peacefully. But the Byzantine Emperor, Constantine XI, refused. And on the 6th of February 1453, the siege of Constantinople began. And on May 29th, 1453, the conquest of Constantinople, led by Sultan Mehmed II of the Ottoman Empire, and with victory of the Ottomans, reached Constantinople's ancient land wall after besieging the city for 55 days. Mehmed surrounded Constantinople from land and sea while employing cannon to maintain a constant barrage of the city's formidable walls. So, that's it, the story of Mehmed the Conqueror. His prowess in leading and managing tactics made him successful in conquering Constantinople and extends his power throughout European and African country, and made himself one of the greatest kings in history.